Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourselves in this weird, wild, wacky world of ours, and welcome to another exciting installment of Darkness in Dublin. This evening's scene takes place as both Alazir and Liam rush headlong out of the library through its second floor. You lose sight of your companions, however, as you do so, everyone scattering off in different directions, seeing the technocrats enter the room proper. You hear an individual snap orders on the floor beneath you. They'll say, "Reality Deviants sighted. Unit A, Unit B, find and destroy. We hear and obey," come the metallic voices echoing through what you can only assume are rhythmic reverb through the through the chest panels. However, 1, 2, 3 steps, and you're out a door. The door itself politely closes behind you, and you find yourself in a long lit. Sorry, I'll go to Steve. Beg your pardon. In a long, well-lit corridor that leans both left and right. There are then at either end a cross T section with one passage going left and one passage going right. Which direction do you wish to take?
I'm gonna look at Liam, and I'm gonna say, traditionally, when one is navigating a maze, you pick one direction and you continue upon it until such a point as it doubles back, and then you go the opposite direction. How would you want to start this?
Traditionally in mazes, you go left. We go right.
Very well, we go right. So we're heading right.
Okay, you reach the T-junction that is the end of the corridor, in which case you see one door to the left and a longer corridor that leads down, and there is another T-junction. Which do you take?
So there is the right side, which has a door, and the
Correct.
left side has a T-junction.
Correct.
Door.
Door?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You barrel through the door, and you see a long table that almost looks to have been made from a oak trunk that has been cut off, and it is a huge circle. Any tree that would have had this, however, at its lowest point where its roots meet the ground, would be truly titanic. You know, you're talking redwood size, and you can tell it is an oak tree. And around the table, there are about a dozen or so chairs that are set, covered in dust. There's another door that leads off on the other side of the room, past the table.
Alzir is going to inspect the table carefully. Is there anything that would denote position, station, any books, anything sitting on the table?
One of the chairs is definitely of higher ornation than the others. It looks to be more ornate. And there is an open ledger book in front of it, yes.
Alzir is going to look at Liam. It's definitely a meeting room of some kind, more than likely where they brief the head magus. Can you read their Can you read their words?
He will look over and he will look at what's written on the ledger.
It appears to be written in really old Gaelic.
I've got Gaelic.
Okay, make me an intelligence academics roll to try and piece it out.
Great. And so, why is that doing that thing? Rolls. So I get 1d10 for this, 4 from my intelligence, 3 from my academics, and then 3 from natural linguist. Difficulty standard?
Difficulty 7.
Okay. And book smart counts, right?
Yes, book smart will count.
I forgot I actually have Gaelic.
I got 5 successes.
Okay. It's not perfect, but then again, translations on the fly never really. You lose a lot of the subtlety in when you're just trying to get pertinent details. However, it appears to be a. For a start, there's definitely a roll here, a roll of names, and you see the fact that names are checked on the roll. So clearly, it was somebody calling a roll call of some kind.
Okay.
Almost the page that you're reading almost seems to be minutes to a meeting. It seems to be an individual who you will then identify has actually who has signed it at the bottom to denote the name of the secretary, as it were. You know that his name was Alouvrienne because he has signed it at the bottom. But it appears to be the minutes to a meeting, and from it denotes that there have been odd goings on, and that the head of the head of the house, whose name is Bathlane Dene, has dispatched individuals, or you're not sure if it's individuals of interest, has dispatched. The word would either be seekers of truth or spies. You're not exactly sure, but it's definitely someone to seek the truth of a matter, and it once again references the name Tremere.
I'm just going to take a picture of it with my smartphone. Just.
Okay.
And then I'll look over at Alazir. Couple of names, attendance, person of high rank. Looks like a minutes log.
Well, it's technically an artifact of your people if you want to take it with you. However, I plan on leaving everything where it is.
I have a feeling touching anything in here would be bad.
More than likely. Plus, it's also professional.
Touch nothing, take nothing, preserve memories and pictures.
Also, when I said I do have my professional courtesy as an anthropologist, so I understand.
Right. We don't want to set off any magical traps or shenanigans because
Indeed.
we're already in it. We're already waist deep. So, out the back door.
All right, yeah, we're heading to the next door.
Awesome sauce. So you're going out through the next door. Okay. You find yourself at the head of a grand spiral staircase that appears to be going down.
Well, it's the opposite direction of out, but it is. I'm highly curious.
Anything can happen in Magic Land.
That is correct, actually. Yes. Shall we descend?
Yeah. Let's go.
Okay, heading downstairs. I'm doing my best to make my footsteps as quiet as possible, though, just in case.
Mm-hmm. You will go down to the deepest most levels, because this appears to only go one direction. There are no other doors that lead off it until you get to the bottom. This area smells of the earth. It smells very deep. If deep had a smell, it smells of mushrooms. It smells of raw earth and dank. You will notice the fact that in front of you there are three. This is a large horseshoe-shaped room, and there are three doors leading off it: one to the left, one to the right, and one to the center. Each of which have symbols over them. The one to the left-hand side, the symbol looks like another horseshoe. One to the center, the symbol looks like a how to phrase it? The symbol looks like a circle, and the one to the right-hand side has a triangle above it.
He looks over. This is house code. I don't know this.
Alzir will nod and
Circle, triangle, horseshoe. Take your pick.
do any of them radiate with any magic, since I still have etheric sense up?
Nope. The doors appear to be very, very heavy, however.
Well, we went right last time. Maybe we should try left this time.
Keep going the same direction until you can't go that direction anymore?
That is what you said, so yes, we should probably go right.
Alright.
So we'll head to the right.
Okay. The door comes loose in your hands, as in you are able to. It will take some shunting, like as in both of you are going to have to put your weight behind it in order to bash the door open, as it appears to be on very rusted hinges. However, it will eventually give under the pressure before it will slide inwards.
Alright.
I'll look at him and say, it's your tradition. Would you like me to go first, or?
I got the last door. This is one of yours.
All right. Alzir will walk through. Is it dark inside, or is it still
Lights,
well
as I say, torches are flicking on as you basically enter rooms, so that they will bathe the room in that greenish light that they seem to throw off.
Okay, awesome. All right, we're heading in.
All right.
Okay. You find yourself at the head of a long row of cells.
Long row of what?
Cells. Prison cells. There were about 6 to each wall, left and right, and there was a large door at the end of the room.
All right, scamper, scamper.
Yeah, we're going to continue on through. I'm gonna not touching anything, because you never know what's gonna actually accidentally have you teleported inside one of those cells. But I am looking as best I can inside them to see what could be inside.
All the cells are empty and open. It doesn't look like they've been used in an incredibly long time.
To the other door?
Yep. Continue on. I'll actually look over at Liam as we're going and say, was it customary for the Order of Hermes houses to have cells, or was this from a more trying era of your history?
A couple of the houses function like police, so And this is an old chantry from an old time, so they probably also have ancient customs that we aren't entirely familiar or like to recant.
Alzir will simply nod to this as we go through into the next door.
Liam's got the next door.
Okay. You are greeted by a room approximately 30 feet across and 20 feet wide.
Okay.
It is a cold room. Your breath will rise before you as vapor as you enter it. The room itself is filled with almost medieval, well, it is filled with medieval devices of torture, pain. You will see an Iron Maiden to one side yawning open. You will see various different tools, knives, sickles that bear blood upon them. However, that is not the most macabre thing in the room. No, no, no. In the center of the room, you will see a figure stretched out on a slab of stone. I will point out, the figure is entirely covered in skin, which is unusual. Everything else you've seen has had a was rendered down to bone. It is naked, male. Its skin is white, but most disturbing of all, from your perspectives, guys, it looks as if its face is melting, and it has a large spike of wood stuck through its chest.
Don't touch it. Don't get close. Leave it. Next door.
Understood. Fascinating, though.
I will point out, the door behind you will slam shut and lock.
I believe this is what they call a boss fight.
No.
No, he just makes.
Oh, sorry.
He just makes the sideways comment. That was an in-character comment, by the way.
Zero will say, I didn't play a lot of video games back in my days.
Yeah.
You've gotten the sense from how you've seen things that the Chantry has wanted you to know or see things.
We are dealing with a energy sentience of some kind. Alazir is going to actually approach the body without touching it and is going to do a cursory forensic examination.
As he gets close, I'm gonna sweep right in the room. So that way I will be I will sweep the direction of the creature's head while doing a perimeter check.
Mm-hmm. Everything will start to shimmer again, as it did in the library when you were shown the death of the children. And you will, this time, however, it will start with screaming. You will see a man, you will see three men standing in the room, and you will see this being spread eagle on a cross, being branded with hot irons. And it will say, and you will hear the lead man say, We saw that you accessed certain forbidden areas, and were probing House Tremir's Chantry at Chagaris. We would ask why. Don't you see? It is simple. Foolish children. It is because they have stolen the young from us. It is they who raise their hands first. Sadu Gatsky. At which point the iron is brazened into the skin again. You can smell the burning flesh, though once again your hands move through them as if they are made of shadow. And it will say, Why do you think that they have interest in this? We have not found our children, and they take more and more for whatever it is happening beneath their magical towers. Then you will hear one man turn and say to the other, If this is true, this poses grave uncertainty. Indeed, what can we do? You will see you will see the figure turn, and you will notice it's the same figure who was having the talk with the keeper earlier about the oddities of House Tremere. And he will say, This does not confirm our suspicions as of yet. This does not confirm anything. He will then turn and he will say, What name do you give yourself, creature? The creature will look up and will spit in his face, at which point you see a mark on the man's hand glow with a supernatural light, clearly a scar pattern. He will place his hand in front of the creature's head and he will say, What name do you give yourself and your kind, creature? Even you, from now, these many centuries away, can recognize magic when it is before your eyes. You'll see the creature's eyes go wide as it bucks again and again and again, clearly fighting it. And it will say, We are Vampire. We are Nosferatu. And then the vision will turn to dust as the last one did.
And he will look over at Alazir.
Alazir has his notebook out and he is furiously writing in it.
I'm getting copies of that when you're done.
Oh, only certain parts, I will say. There's other information in here I shouldn't. Pertains to
in regards to this.
Okay.
This room.
Right.
There's
things in there that have to do with ongoing investigations. I cannot.
That's fine. Just this room right now. And
you will hear the door unlock at that point.
Has the temperature shifted?
No, still the same.
Still ultra cold?
Ultra cold.
All right. Well, looks like this always.
Alzir's going to nod and, oh yes, perhaps we should try one of the other doors. It's a shame about this individual, though. It seems like the Tremere were just as callous to them as they were to the Danae.
It seems.
Alzir will take the lead, leaving, and then he'll look and say, straight ahead or to the left?
Just next door over.
Yep. Next door over, which would be the center one, I believe.
Yep, that would be the center one, which should
With
be
the circle.
Yeah.
Was it?
Circle.
Yeah.
Okay. In the next room that you enter, you will see the fact that the walls themselves are dominated with mirrors. There must be once again, about 12 to 24 mirrors that hang on the wall. They're all beautifully carved from gold, you would assume. They glint in the green light. They are exquisite examples of craftsmanship that probably at this point have admittedly been lost to the world. The glass themselves are smoky, but have an odd allure to them.
Well, you got... I'm just going to look at the mirrors.
Is it just one room with mirrors in it, or is there a hallway, or what?
It is just a circular room filled with mirrors that are hanging on the walls. The carpet itself is now a carpet underfoot, and it is a brilliant red, spotless carpet.
Can I make a intelligence mage lore roll to figure something out?
Yes.
Does bright count as an applicable specialization?
Yes.
Difficulty?
Standard.
Only 2 successes.
Well, mirrors are used for quite a lot. Oftentimes used for scrying or occasionally transportation.
Can
What I figured.
I make a intelligence Order of Hermes lore? Because this also looks like a prison.
You can make that roll if you wish, yes.
Standard?
Yes.
Book smart?
Book smart will apply.
Three successes.
Well, if they were made for transportation, then, or if they were made for transportation, or if they were made for scrying, then why are they right next to a place that is clearly designed to incarcerate others? And also, why are the mirrors themselves opaque, almost inky?
Alzir's going to look at Liam because he can kind of get that feeling of there's something on his mind. Like, what did I miss?
And you said it's black glass?
It's smoky glass. It almost looks black.
Are there nameplates next to the mirrors?
Mm-hmm.
No.
They're just ornate hung mirrors. How many of them are there?
12.
Well, it's not for... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
This could be a number of things. Several of them in the back of my head scream not good.
Well, I was thinking it was a portal room, but there's no nameplates, which means that usually with this sort of thing, they're paired with another exit point.
Other locations.
Yeah.
The smoky glass, not the best for stepping through.
Or for seeing either.
There's a mirror room, and I think we should just smile, nod, mirror room, move on.
Agreed. He will, however, write down a note. Basically, weird mirror room next to dungeon.
Yeah.
And we'll go ahead and leave.
Okay, are you going through the last door?
Last door?
Yes.
Okay. The last door appears to enter into a large room, approximately, you'd guess again, about 50 foot long, but this time about another 30 foot wide, 30, 40 foot wide, that is an immaculately kept kitchen. As you enter, there is a swirl of rose-colored light, and another one of the masked figures appears. Oh, hello. Welcome to the kitchens, masters. May I get you anything?
Ozzy will look over at Liam and say, "I'm fine. Do you need anything?"
Thank you for your hospitality, Lord of the Kitchen.
No, please, no formalities, master. I'm just the cook. I'm pleased to be of service to you.
Ozzy will smile and nod his head. We were on a little bit of a walking tour. We had never been down here before. Your kitchen is extraordinary, I must say.
Thank you, master. One must do their best. After all, we do get so many visitors, and it is vital that we be prepared at any moment in order to declare a feast whenever it is that Lord Dene wishes one.
Absolutely. Does your knowledge extend just to the kitchen or the surroundings?
Oh, I'm well familiar with most of the Chantry proper, my lord. After all, I need to dispatch many different dishes to various different places.
How often do you send dishes to the room with mirrors?
I don't, master.
Can you tell me about the room with mirrors?
She will contemplate and will say, "No, sir. It is rather above my pay grade. You would need to ask the keeper for that."
Understood.
I'm led to understand they call it the Hall of Remembrances, if that helps.
Immensely. Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
Is there anything I can do for you?
are there other doors out of this kitchen, or is just...
Yes, there's another one on the other side of the room.
Alzir will look at that door. Is that the larder?
It goes into the larder, sir, but then it also goes up to the back servants' stairs that lead out into the Great Hall.
Alzir will look over at Liam and say, "Shall we adjourn to the Great Hall?"
To the Great Hall, indeed.
We're going to head to the back door and then head up the servants' staircase.
I will thank the chef immensely for his wisdom.
Genuinely get the impression the chef is sad.
Alzir will look over to the chef and say, "Don't be so sad. I'm sure that there's going to be a great need for food very soon, at which point you'll be working your fingers to the wisps."
Oh, thank you, sir. It's so good to feel useful. It's been entirely too long.
Alzir will
How
smile.
long has it been?
Oh,
I beg your pardon, sir?
How long has it been?
You see it contemplate. Okay, because Evan can't do this. It will give a redonk. Hang on, I actually have to get a calculator for this. It's to do with how it thinks. Give me a second. Because you asked the question, and it's to do with how it thinks. Hmm. Hang on. 4.
What? Whoa.
Yeah, no, because I have to get this right. It has been approximately 456,000 meal times, sir.
Alzir will try to calculate that, and he's like, I'm afraid that's math beyond my comprehension.
If you want to actually roll your intellect academics to work it out, you can.
Sure.
Actually, he's gonna pull out his calculator and do 1,400,000 because I have a calculator listed on my sheet.
5 successes. 5 successes, Evan.
One has the thing. Assuming they eat assuming the people eat between 3 and 4 meals a day.
Yeah.
It is approximately 1,012 years worth of food.
1,012 years. That's a long time.
And he's just gonna like, and he's gonna stare at his graphing calculator, and then he's gonna save the function as meals missed since Chantry closed. Saved function. Never thought a graphing calculator would come in handy, but it did. Holy shit.
All right. So the other interesting thing you guys will notice as you step through the larder, which is another large room, is the fact that all the food is still fresh.
Alzir's going
happened
to
in Magic India.
I'm going to assume Chantry, so I'm going to assume magical wards. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Smart.
Ward against spoiling. Totally an attribute ward. You will then find a much smaller staircase that spirals upwards.
Alzir's going to start up the staircase. He's going up. He's going to say to Liam, Hall of Remembrances, do you think it's like a primitive magical database?
Could be maybe a meditation chamber.
Unfortunately, I don't have enough practice in the heavenly sphere of mind to accurately gauge or attempt to tackle that sort of thing.
A little bit of mind. I got this. He points to his right eye, but I don't want to. Bad things could happen in there, and
in case it is a mirror trap, yes.
Well, the other thing is, it's right next to a prison, so it could force us to remember and relive horrible things.
Agreed.
Not the best thing to go through. So I will. You got the kitchen door. I'll take the larger door and the stairs, and we'll go up.
Okay.
So I'm taking point this round.
Oh, Alzir is going to.
You proceed upwards.
Alzir is going to hold up for a moment, and he's going to open up his bag. He's going to pull out 2 scalpels, and he's going to look at Liam and say, "Can you fight?"
Not at all.
He's going to hand him a scalpel and say, just in case you need one. He's going to put the other scalpel in his jacket pocket.
Okay. You will enter out into a large ovular room. The room itself, you appear to enter from one side of it, the top of the oval, and you assume this is where the serving staff would come out during large gathering. There are 3 huge tables that could probably seat 50 people apiece that line the hall, that line down the hall. And then there's one much smaller table set at the front of the 3. So 3 tables facing one smaller table that have much more ornate seats. You would guess that is where the magisters or the big wigs of the house proper would more than likely sit.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that strikes you is, oh my, this is a cemetery. The amount of bodies in here are vast. There are, you would think, because you can see that they overturned one of the tables. The table itself is blackened with scorch marks. There are corpses in here of many individuals that have been charred and burned to a crisp, others that have just become white bones over long centuries.
And this is a scene that Alzir unfortunately is probably familiar with because it was the last stand by the looks of it.
You will see the fact that the great double doors at the end of the room have been blown in.
Yep.
Alzir is going to walk carefully so that he does not disturb any of the bodies. And is going to look over at Liam and say, I would say this is where the heads of the order made a final stand to try to buy time for anybody to escape if it was possible.
I will say this, Liam knows from the propaganda he was fed, no one escaped from House Danae. Whether that's true or not.
That's a different story.
Mm-hmm.
Yay for taking that point of propaganda. Putting things together.
Okay, you will come out onto a large hallway, 3 or 4 times larger than the others that you've been to. Opposite the Great Hall, there is another large closed door. And then there was a set of staircase. Then there was a grand staircase leading up, and then with 2 leading up, and then on either side of it there are 2 grand. There are 2 grand what are called columns, which are when the staircase splits and goes left right.
Alzir's going to look around with the etheric sense to see if there's any signs of high-level energy patterns moving around. Mostly.
You will also notice at the end of the corridor, by the way, sorry, the opposite the staircase, about 200 or 300 meters away from you, there is another door. But up the stairs, there is a very powerful magical signature. Like Honelli levels of Honelli.
Does it register in akin with quintessence or whatever the fuck the technocrats use?
It registers with quintessence.
All right, Alzir is going to look over and say, I mean, we can head on upstairs and figure out what's up there. It may be somebody that can help us.
Maybe.
It doesn't appear to be the mirror shades.
Just stay at the ready.
Okay, so you're going straight up the stairs and then banking to the left?
Yes.
The left is where the energy source is. We haven't extinguished the right option.
That's true.
This is if we need to come back to this, we can come back to this. Stick right.
All right. Okay, so we're heading up the stairs and go. Are we going right down here, or are we going right up the stairs?
I would say up the stairs and the right embankment.
Okay. I'll take the lead on this. We're heading up the stairs and off to the right embankment.
Okay. As you get up to the stairs, before you bank left or right, the air will start to shimmer again. You will see the same attractive man, this time dressed in brilliant green armor. His hair is done back in a top knot, and he has a sword hanging from his hip. He's surrounded by other mages who are talking to him, and he will say, "No, Alathorix, there is no other option. We've been gathering information for months, and House Tremere are doing something foul in Shagorisk. From both the testimony of that creature below us and all other sources, there is something black afoot here. I must go and inform the council of this. And you'll see an older man, a very sage man, nod, and he'll say, if you say so, my lord. However, I must caution you that to do so would be infortune at this time. The portents do not read, portents be damned, man. Ultimately, people are dying. I don't know how. Apprentices keep disappearing. There must be an answer to this. You will then see a man running. Now, when I say running, he will have broken, like he is sweating bullets. He is sprinting at the top of his speed, and he will take the stairs 3 at a time before he collapses onto the ground in front of him and say, my lord, House Titanus, House Flambeau, they are beating down the gates, my lord. And you will see he has in his hands a piece of paper that he is trembling as he presents, and he will say, he holds it up. The man reads it, and he reads it aloud, and he says, by the authority of the Council of the Houses of the Order of Hermes, House Danae is hereby ordered to submit its magisters and all of its material to the Council proper for examination on the charges of blood magic, infernalism, and consorting with the enemy. They are to submit themselves immediately to the task force led by Magistrate Tremere, or they are to consider themselves in violation and will be purged. You will see the man, his face goes incredibly stony, as in you could chisel it with a hammer. And he will say, so, we have been outplayed, outmaneuvered. Even if we submit, they will kill us all. The elder man will step forward and say, surely, my lord, we can still negotiate. And he'll hold up his hand and he will say, Alessandrix, you will get the children out. You will get the apprentices out. We will buy you time. You can't do this, my... You will do as I command. I am lord of this house. He will then draw his sword and he will start to walk down the stairs. He will say, and we will sell ourselves dearly. At which point, and you are back in the modern.
Alzir pulls out his notebook and is writing all about this down.
Yep.
And now we're going to start looking around.
And then we continue the break to the right.
Yes. To the right, to the right.
Climb up to the left or to the right. They actually lead to the exact same place. It's basically they loop around and come out onto the same corridor.
Okay.
There is ahead of you a very, very, very ornate door that is carved in the shape of a tree. Some kind of grand oak tree, you would guess, maybe?
Okay.
It would almost seem like the devotion of this house was to life energy, not to infernalism or foul magics.
Indeed. Much to be learned. Although we do have things with rhythmic steps catching on us, so we should probably scoot.
Alzir will nod, and we'll head down to the door at the end. Are there any other doors on this level?
No, there's just the large door with the done in the oak motif.
All right, so to the big door.
Yep.
Okay. Inside, you will notice 3 things immediately. 1, this room is entirely dominated by a massive oak tree. Hornelli. That must be about 200 to 300 feet tall, if you had to guess. And above it, there is a light that seems to shine like the sun. Also, you will notice the fact that it is surrounded by still smoking and blackened technocratic hard suits.
Alzir will look over at Liam and say, do you think this is the trial chamber that they talked about before?
I'ma go with yes.
Alzir will nod and he will say, do you think we should leave, or do you think we can find assistance here?
I think this may be our key to an exit. This may be also a key to our doom. But there are a number of technocrats scouring this building. Several of them heavily armed.
Alzir will nod. If we have any hope of getting not only ourselves, but our allies clear of this place and out of the hands of the technocracy, the magic in this room may be what does that.
Okay. Brett and Liam, important question for you both.
Mm-hmm.
What's the most powerful magical artifact, either in this game or in your backstories, either of you have ever seen?
It would probably be one of the Alivatin artifacts that's been in the possession of the council. Either that or it's the Hogmas or the Hogswatch gift, the glasses.
Okay. Liam?
For Liam, probably the connected grimoires of House Shea. Couple of magical weapons out of House Flambeau. His skateboard and his eye.
Okay.
Those are the...
As you walk forward towards the tree, you will notice the fact that there is a deep hollow cut in the tree, and you will notice what almost appears to be a sleeping man behind or frozen in a moment of time. And in his hands, there is a book. And when I say that book glows brighter than anything you have ever seen, I am not joking.
Alzir's going to wince because of his etheric sense. And he's going to look over and say, I would say that is the Lord of House Danan. Or Danae. Well,
I would say that you are right, and this is
also... Oh, Austin has it. Austin, would you like to roll me your high umbral lore?
Yeah.
Okay.
Da-da-da-da-da. Go to the previous page. Do. Difficulty?
Standard.
Heck.
What was that, Austin?
My book smart count?
Yes.
Okay. Nada.
damn.
Okay.
That roll just hated on you.
Yeah. Could have been worse.
Can't spend a willpower and try again at a higher death.
Sure. What is the higher diff?
It just adds +1.
Okay. Nada.
What the hell?
I don't know nothing.
Okay.
They don't
Holy
want you to
shit,
get
though.
that roll.
That book is it is incredible.
Do you suppose if we opened this or found a way to open it, then the Lord would be able to return to life?
Maybe. Could be a grimoire, could be a soul gem, could be a periaptive knowledge. It could trigger the trial. Anything could happen.
I'm afraid that my knowledge of your people is very limited.
I don't know if the trial is meant specifically for the order, or if I have no knowledge of this. But if this is our ticket out, this may be the best chance we got.
Alzir will nod.
I mean, it's not a wise idea, but it's an idea.
Alzir will just be like, well, my curiosity's piqued. Let's see what we can do. If this fails in some horrific manner, it was pleasant to know you.
Fair enough.
I like how matter of fact that was. If we die, let's do it.
It was like, well, our options are the death in front of us or the death behind us.
Pretty much. So Alzir is going to look around and say, Keeper, are you here?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
If we complete the trial that you told about, that you mentioned for the Lord's tomb, will he return to life?
No.
What is on the table for the trial?
I cannot answer that. For the record, the keeper is not here physically, it's just his voice.
Right. Do we get the book? Do we get out of here?
You claim the book if you succeed in the trial. Yes.
Do we both take it at the same time, or can only one of us take it at once?
One of you becomes its master. You may both opt to take the trial, however, only one person may succeed.
Well,
Alzir's going to look at Liam and say,
hold on one second. I have a silly idea.
okay.
Hey, Keeper, how do we get out of here?
You ask to leave.
He looks over at Alazir.
Keeper, if we ask to leave, can we ensure that our allies go with us?
They must ask themselves.
I know at least 2 or 3 people down there that it would never occur to them to do that.
I'm not responsible for their ignorance.
I mean, we aren't either, but
I feel I have a duty of care for at least 2 of them. And if I cannot, in good conscience, leave without them.
Liam will nod.
There is the ethereal shrug of, well, that's not my problem.
Yeah.
If you wish to leave, you may do so. I will take the test.
Allow me to take the test, because they were a member of my house, and if this is their grimoire and their history and their knowledge, and this was all wrong and strange, then truth must be brought to light.
Alzir will nod.
This is a matter of the tradition.
I'll nod to that. May your path to enlightenment shine brightly as you attempt to regain a connection.
Well,
and on that note, I'm going to use the bathroom, so I'll be right back.
Okay.
You wish to take the trial, then?
I need to check his nature and demeanor. Hold on. 1 second.
You do you.
Yeah. Da 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 da. 'Cause Because getting the fuck out of here sounds real. Ah, shit. Okay, that's my demeanor. What is my... I gotta take it.
Okay.
I gotta take it. Nature and demeanor say I have to.
What are your nature and demeanor?
Nature, hacker, demeanor, activist.
Okay. The test has begun. You will see the figure holding the grimoire, their eyes open. Flick open. They're an older man, grimoire, and he smiles at you rather benevolently. For the record, if you have life size or anything equivalent, he is alive, at least in that moment.
Okay. What's his time pattern like?
What do you mean?
You said he's a lot. He was a corpse, and now he's alive, and he's alive in this moment. What does it look like to the right eye?
The right eye's kind of gone fuzzy.
Okay.
Is it like...
Okay. Lots of...
Okay, Austin. I'm going to be a gigantic dick, and I emphasize this.
Okay.
So the answer you give me, I don't want you to give me immediately. I want you to think about what might be the right answer. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. He will look at you and he will smile. And he will simply say, "Hello, my child. What is your name?" If Brett wants to help you, and if you want to like talk puzzle, there is a definite puzzle here. But it's not something that Intellect Enigmas can help with. It is something you kind of have to go with. So I'm going to go get a drink, and I'm going to come back.
Okay. Go get your drink.
Okay, cool.
Okay. If he recognizes you as a member of the Order of Hermes, he's going to want your craft name or your shadow name.
Yep.
So, long-winded titles.
Yep.
But I don't know if he wants your shadow name or your craft name, because traditionally OOH members don't ask each other for their shadow names.
Correct. That is because that is a level of production or protection.
Yeah, but then again, this is not your ordinary everyday member of the Order of Hermes either.
Correct. This is... And my house may not... May be a bad thing.
I'm back.
All right, so...
I tell you what, because there's a very specific answer to this question. So I'm going to be nice, and because ultimately, if you get this wrong, I'm going to tell you, Austin, you will fail the test, and you will see. You've seen how badly that goes.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm actually out of character. Evan is going to be fair because it is so easy to fail. You can ask me for 2 hints.
Okay. So 1,000 years ago, would be right after the Pax Hermetica, right after the Hermetic. 4. Okay, so describe the gentleman holding the book for me.
Okay, this is not one of your hints because this is a description.
Yes.
He is older. He is dressed in incredibly immaculate green robes that each have on them a concentric notch. That as you determined earlier, was a druidic symbol. He has the book in his left hand. He has a well-maintained, short-cut beard and long white hair that has been braided.
Okay.
Alston's kind of shitting himself over there a little bit, isn't he?
A little bit.
Suck it back up, don't turtle.
And so this is that together. And he will All right, how far after Pax Hermetica did the use of shadow names, craft names become common or like become a thing?
Depended on the house.
Okay.
Different houses kind of embrace them at different times. House Danae, from what limited information you have, never really gave a damn about them.
Okay.
You think they had deed names, but names weren't their thing, if that makes sense.
Right. That's not their thing.
Okay. I'm going to give you one of your hints, and I'm going to say the answer to this is so simple. I'm going to be honest. It's not just saying your name, but the answer to this is so simple that it's painfully simple. And once again, Brett, you can chime in if you want. I don't care. You can feel free to talk and mull.
Okay.
I've tried to help him out as much as I could so far because our knowledge of Order of Hermes is about the same.
I mean, he's gonna, you know what? He is gonna sit down in front of the man in the green robe, and he's gonna sit with his legs crossed, and he's gonna put his bag in his lap, kind of like a student attending an outdoor class.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Liam Murphy, son of Paul Murphy, son of Sarah Murphy.
You can see he kind of quirks his head As if he's expecting something else.
All right. And then he gets the... Hold on, I have to pull up the full write-up. All right, give me just a minute.
I'm thinking if they focused on deed names, then he may ask for a recount. You may be waiting for a recounting of your deeds.
Maybe that's kind
You
of...
still have one hint you can ask me for.
I'm saving that.
Okay.
Is it, out of curiosity, Evan, for him, is it a hint to this answer or a hint for the rest of, like, this is the last hint he can get for the entire test?
The test is very simple. The test is to give his name. That's all he has to do.
I see.
It is both simple and incredibly complicated.
Mm-hmm. And he takes a deep breath in. And he's nervous. And it's visibly so.
Before you give any other answer, you sure you don't want your hint?
Yeah, let's give me the hint.
Okay. You have to ask me for a hint, dear. As in something. You can ask me. Ask me something that I can weigh in on, so that I can give you a hint. If that makes sense.
Is he asking for my true name?
No. And I'll go so far as to say you've already given as much of your name as he wants.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's up to you, and I'm going to be honest. It is devilishly complicated, and if you get it right, I will clap you on the back.
Okay.
So what is your end story?
I'm as stymied as you are, man.
I am Liam Murphy, son of Paul and Sarah Murphy. Son of Paul and Sarah Murphy, Bonnie Sagas, adept. I am the scribe of Boston. I am he who writes on walls. I am a messenger. Austin's having a brain fart because Austin was not raised Catholic. What was the What was the angel that protected messengers?
Which angel?
That protected messengers.
I think it was Gabriel.
It was Gabriel.
Okay. I will not be using that.
I'm gonna say, as you okay.
And he will.
I can tell you now, out of character, because I'm sorry to say, Austin, you failed.
Oh, I knew I failed.
But do you want me to tell you what the answer was?
Sure.
It was okay. I designed this test to be incredibly simple, but incredibly infuriating.
Oh,
Mhm.
It's excellent.
Do you want me to take my headset off since I'll be taking the test now?
Well, are you going to try the test, Brett?
If he fails, then yes.
Okay. Yes. Then you better take your headphones off.
Okay.
You had to say, and it was really simple, but as I say, really complicated. My name is Liam Murphy Ap Dene.
Fair.
He could only give the book to someone who was willing to have his house name and take his name.
Okay, that's fine. Now the question is, how do we message Brett?
Oh shit!
Side chat. I can side chat.
Yes.
He can put his ears back on.
Yes.
And I'm back.
Okie dokie.
Unfortunately, you will see golden light rip from Liam and become one and fuse with the tree as his lifeless body falls to the ground.
Alzir's going to try to catch him.
You can catch him.
I'm going to lower him to the ground gently. I'm going to place his hands over his chest, close his eyes, and I know he's Catholic, right? Does he have ornamentations?
He has mentioned Catholicism a number of times, but he carries a rosary. It might be like on his wrist or something.
Okay, I'm going to make sure that the rosary is clutched in his hand, and I'm going to give him last rites. Do you want me to make an intelligence theology roll?
Yes, it will be a theology lore.
Okay. I'm guessing Bright probably not an ethical spec on this one.
No.
Difficulty?
You're a Muslim trying to give Christian last rites, so
I do have two dots of theology as well as history and academics.
Yeah, difficulty 7.
Okay, I'm going to spend a willpower so that I do not fuck this up. 3 successes.
Boom.
You knocked it up, sir.
Okay, and then when I'm done giving him last rites, I will actually give Muslim incantation for the dead.
Okay. The keeper will physically appear at this time, and he'll kneel down and he'll say, such a pity. The boy had real promise.
Alzir is going to mutter another prayer underneath his voice, going to mutter a prayer as well, and stand up and say, I'm ready to follow him. Whether it be in success or failure, I do not know yet.
Are you sure that that's the path you want to walk?
I cannot in good conscience allow him to die failing a test that I did not take yet. I just ask one thing. If I may, well, last request, so to speak. He's going to pull out his journal and set it on the floor. Should I not be able to return for this, please keep it safe until my elders come for it.
This I can do. The journal, he won't touch it, but you'll see it physically kind of evaporate into a spectrum of light.
I'm ready.
Okay. Once again, the figure will open its eyes and it will smile. And it will say, "What is your name, my child?"
I am merely one who comes seeking knowledge.
Sorry, Brett. Really sorry.
I had to answer as an Ali button would, though.
That's entirely fair.
Absolutely. I mean, both of these were. Every response was based off of in-character how-tos.
Oh, yeah, no. But I still don't like killing. I never tell anyone this, but I secretly don't like killing people.
Now you know how I feel, man.
Yeah, I have your feels. And in a very sad ending, the
Can I
light will.
just, real quick, can I know what the actual answer was, or do you want to tell me after we leave scene?
I'll tell you when we leave.
Okay.
The light will leave Alazir's face and be drawn into the tree. If it helps, there is no pain as your body falls to the ground, motionless and still. The keeper shakes his head. Why? Why for the folly of youth? And with that, we end our scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another scene in Darkness in Dublin, and yeah.
Oh, that's right. You're waiting on me to shut off.